What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. So, a few weeks ago, Steel City released they was just releasing a lot of stuff, yo. A lot of photos, a lot of renders, things like that. They was really, really active. I never got a chance to really cover any of that stuff. So I want to take the opportunity now. As you can see, I'm still in the hotel room, but this should be the last one from the hotel room. Next time, man, we'll be doing it from the new crib, which is great. So let's go ahead and dive in and let's look at some of the new renders and things that were released. But I also want to compare them to some of the old renders and let's kind of like just talk about it. All right. So let's get at it. All right. Welcome back. Look, so we're going to do it just like this. I'm going to pull it straight from the Twitter, man, and I'm gonna go back and look at some of these old ones because some of these are just straight nostalgia, yo. Like it really gotta take you back to like when I first kind of like started making content for them. And man, some of these were just real good. And I remember that feeling when I first saw some of these renders, man. And I remember all the conversation on Twitter, and it was just crazy hype. So looking at this first one of Connor Ben. And it was like, man, look at the amount of detail they done hit this man with. Dude, his tattoos, everything. They had always set the bar like pretty high when it came to their actual render work. And it just kept going that way, man. So looking at this one here of like Connor Ben right now definitely takes you back. And when we went and played the game, man, like it really looked just as good. And I know that's been kind of a question, is if what we see from the renders is actually what we're going to get when we play the game. Like, are they going to look like that while they're like in motion? And I'll tell you, man, when I had saw Terrence Crawford for the first time, man, let me tell you, like I was blown away to see his real render like in game. And we'll get to that. But these were kind of some old shots from, back in the, like, at this point, you can almost call them back in the day, like these were a while ago now. You're talking November of 2020 is when we got these shots. But I want to point out, if you look at Kid Galahad, you look at the sweat, you look at the detail, you look at all of that, the lighting, things were actually looking really, really, really good. At a certain point, though, things took kind of a flip. And the narrative, dude, the community narrative all like changed. People was like, man, they kind of look like action figures. They look kind of plasticky. People were saying they look like they was covered in oil, things like that, man. So keep that in mind too. And I like to, like, I don't want to shoot down the community when there's complaints. I actually want to take that stuff, look at it, man, and see if it's genuine, you know what I'm saying? Just to stay open-minded. So we're gonna flash forward real quick. I'm gonna close this. All right. Here's another one. So this was when we first got like damage early on. And I remember talking about my man with the turtle shell like over the eye. Man, look at dude, if we're talking just strict detail, you can see the light that's actually like in his eyes. I've said many a times that one of the biggest issues with some of these renders was actually catching like the actual personality and the actual life of some of these guys, their facial expressions and how they look. They look kind of dead sometimes. Man, here, dude, this guy looks beat up. Yeah, you can look at him and tell things went real wrong, yo. But the amount of detail was so solid, man, just so solid. Steel City has always done super solid work when it has come to these fighter renders, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, must slide myself back over again. Let's now flash forward. Look at this. Look at the way that they have changed how they're kind of like doing their work. You see different colors of blue and like teal and like I don't know who's on their lighting team, but whoever you are, I would like to applaud you because you are doing amazing work. This one right here, I'll be honest with you, I believe is my favorite render of every single one that has come out so far. Just the amount of detail that is in this is just, man, like look at this. When I said emotion in their faces, when I said capturing these guys, they don't look dead. This is exactly what I'm talking about, man. Like, dude, the lighting on the hair, like they have really, with this one, they have really outdone themselves, man. Like this takes you back to their original work and then expands on it like a lot. Like this is so good. The question still remains, are they going to look like this when we actually got them in motion? Man, I would absolutely love to see what we're looking at right here in motion in the arena, and nothing gets taken away. Like nothing gets stolen once they get to moving around and fighting. Oh man. And then factor in the damage and things like that. I mean, look at this. You can even see the scarring on his arm. Like, my goodness, they've done amazing work. All right, our boy Sonny Edwards, been around since the beginning, right? They brought Sonny to life, all right? I think they did him a little bit of justice with the hair. Maybe that was by request, but still, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of those same key things, man, the lighting and stuff that they're doing now, just really, really, really solid stuff, man. Like really, really good stuff. Here he's got this crazy stare, but obviously when we looked at Ben just a minute ago, they had fixed that. They had fixed it. But again, man, like these guys have continued to do really good work. Look at this, came from the recent Ryan Garcia announcement. Fresh with the tattoos, all of that stuff. I don't think this one looks as good as Ben. I personally don't. I don't want to come off as too harsh. Ryan Garcia wasn't my favorite. Let me put it like that. He wasn't up there in one of my favorites. But still, man, it's Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody would have an issue looking at that and saying that's not him. And again, the amount of detail is out of this world. So this came from the recent footage, right? The recent gameplay stuff. Terrence Crawford, okay? Terrence Crawford's model looks better now than it did when we played him a few months ago. This model is fire, and this is probably my second best model out of all of them, because they even caught the like Terrence Crawford like lazy face. Like they got it all, man. Like that's, man, ain't nobody gonna tell me that ain't TC. You know what I'm saying? But when we talk about whether he's gonna look like that once we get him in motion, for the most part, yes. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, some lighting things have been taken away, and lighting is huge when it comes to detail. But dude, like, I would go so far as to say 90% of what we seen from here is there, maybe even more, right? So the Terrence Crawford model. Look, y'all know how I feel already about our, old school fighters, these old school heroes, man, of the boxing world. Looking at here, man, just listen. These old school gloves, I'm a big fan of the old school gloves. And I'm just a big fan of him in general, yo. And when you look at the hair, when you look at the hair, you can't help but almost just to kind of like marvel at it, yo, because they've done so good at taking these images, and they really kind of pulled someone from history and brought them to current time, man. And that's like during the event, we had a conversation with Ash Habib, and he said something that has stuck with me, yo. He said that he wanted ESBC to kind of be a love letter to the sport of boxing. And things like this is why I believe them. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the amount of work that they're putting into bringing something, like I said, man, these old heroes of boxing into the current age, and basically just restoring them in the digital realm, man. Like, this is, my goodness, this is just amazing work. Okay, now I am going to end on this. Joe No Carroll, boy. Or as somebody they called him before, oh no Carroll. All right. This is kind of what I was talking about when I said, you know, man, like, look, okay, straight up, not the best. All right. We know that. Not the best. I was able to kind of get in the Discord once this dropped, and I was kind of reading through the comments. I seen some of the things that, you know, the team had posted and stuff like that, you know. I'm trying. King Kong, man. He looks so sad, yo. Like, that's, he looks so sad, man. And it's still Joe No Carroll. We obviously can, and you know, it's him, but he has got the saddest face. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looks super sad. And then the dead eyes. This was not their best work. But obviously, we have seen the things that they can come up with, you know? And I want to go back to my man Ben before we pop out of here. This is just it, man. Like, this is it. This is the work that I'm talking about. Steel City, man. I really hope that we get this. I really hope we get this when it's all said and done. That this ain't just pictures and clips, and we get this in movement and in motion. And I know man, look, I know they can do it. Again, seeing Terrence Crawford for the first time, seeing him fight, and what's great about them capturing these models so well is that when they have them like this, and then you see what they have done as far as their actual motion and capturing their little tendencies and things, man, when they're moving around the ring, the way that they place their hands, the certain little nuances that they have. When you put all that together, it is, man, it's something great to look at, and it just overall enhances the experience. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I really kind of just wanted to go backwards a little bit, chit chat, just to kind of run over some missed content that I have, man. But you guys let me know, man, from all of this time, for as long as you have been following ESBC, what has been your favorite render? Who do you hope to see a render of coming soon? Obviously, we all just want to skip the renders and just get the game in your hands. But for the time being, if this is what we get, who do you want to see next? Steel City. Message to you guys. Get back to being active again. There was a point where y'all were posting something like every 4 or 5 days. Look, don't spoil me and then run off. All right, let's get back to that again. I need that again, especially seeing as how we're getting my content back on track. So help a brother out. All right, look, appreciate y'all for coming back to the Coach's Corner, and I will catch y'all on the next one.